Hey Daryl.
Hey.
What day is it today? I think it's the 24th?
Saturday the 24th.
October 2020.
October.
As we continue on with our hunting season.
We are.
Yeah. So what's your plan tonight?
Well, I got a bit of a hike in tonight to the stand. It's about almost a kilometer walk.
Oh.
So I wish I had some easier way to get there, but you know, we do what we do.
Yeah. Well, what happens when you walk all that way with all those clothes on?
If I only had a way to get there faster, I didn't have to work up a sweat. That would be fantastic.
That doesn't make a lot of noise?
Well, something quiet, environmentally friendly, something that doesn't rattle.
Oh, what have we got here? What is that, Daryl?
Well, that happens to be a electric scooter.
Is that what we're going to test tonight?
Yes, and with all new equipment, what do?
You test it. That's right. We test it.
So we're going to test this bad boy out.
Well, let's have a little bit of a walk around. Huh. That looks like it's about 100 pounds.
63 kilograms to be exact.
Oh, looks like it probably have a top speed of 32 kilometers an hour.
Well, let's see if we can do that. I'm not sure we can, but even the streets of Vancouver, but not where we're going.
No, we're gonna do some cross country, are we?
We're gonna take this thing for a little bit of a test drive.
Well, I'm excited about that.
Well, it's too bad we bought it, because if we would have rented it, we could have really put it to the test. But since you own it, I'm gonna go nice and easy on it.
Yeah, I think you shouldn't, and we should actually put it to the test.
Well, if I have your permission, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Yep. So just curious, what's the temperature right now?
I believe it's -6 degrees without the wind, and we got about a 15 or 16 kilometer-hour wind, and it's a little chilly.
Okay, so that bike is going to sit out. When's the last light? It's going to sit for how long in the cold?
Well, what are we at now? It's going to sit for 2.5 hours. Well, 2 hours and 20 minutes.
2 hours 20 minutes. And just curious, what is your weight, body weight?
Well, you should never ask a gentleman his weight, but I will say I'm at my fighting weight right now. Sumo wrestling, so I'm sitting at about 227 pounds.
Plus all the gear.
Plus gear, I'm going to have my bow, backpack, so I'll probably have about 13 pounds of gear. So let's call it even 240. 240 Gordy, let's call me that tonight.
Right on. Good day everybody. Today we are in Daryl's shop and we're going to test the Rosso Cobra electric scooter for various things. We're also going to try and validate the claims that the instruction manual makes. Just for intro to the instructions.
Yeah.
So what have we got there, Daryl?
We've got the instruction manual for the electric scooter. Gonna go through it, make sure the specs are good, and we're gonna put this thing to the test.
Right on. Okay. Okay, first of all, we have a full charge in the battery. So that little green light is plugged into 120 volt or wall power and into the charger. Now the charger is a 3-pin, almost like a trailer wiring. So, and with a little plastic hose to keep the charging station safe. Daryl's just going to go over some of the features of this Rosso Cobra. So,
Well, to access the batteries, you pop a pin out, you pull the seat up, 2 latches underneath, access to the battery packs. What you've got is 3 12-volt batteries, giving you, well, technically a combined voltage of 36 volts. So 1,000 watts of power, which is pretty good. I wouldn't mind validating that.
how would you do that?
Meter it out.
Okay. And you, right off the bat, you had a little suggestion for this if you're going to be using it outside, and at least in the fields. What was your thoughts around that?
Then I just see an opportunity to improve. Just some weather stripping around here, perhaps just keep the dust, the water, debris, grass, whatever, out of the battery pack. It's not a big deal, but it's just something that I think is an opportunity for improvement. Obviously, these things were probably made for a little bit more urban use than what we're going to put this thing through, so I think I'd take the opportunity to ruggedize it a little bit.
Another feature of this Cobra is that it's collapsible.
Yep. So in order to collapse, pop the seat off. Kickstand it up. Take a little bit of weight pressure off the front tire. Pulls back. Now locks into place here. Allowing you to pick it up.
What do you think? How much does that sucker weigh? So, what are we doing here, Daryl?
We're gonna weigh this thing. The manual says it's 38 kilograms. We'll verify.
So it's just going to be a rudimentary measurement, right?
Yeah, this isn't scientific. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weigh myself. I'm gonna grab the bike and I'm going to weigh myself with the bike and do the delta between the two. So we so 234 on the scale, fully closed, with like 10 pounds of change in my pocket. So I won't take the coins out. And I'll pick up the bike. Now the seat, I'm not gonna pick up the seat just because it's not an easy thing to do. $329.6. So rough numbers, that's what, 95 pounds? Let's do the math. 329.6. I want to say 234.0. So 95.6 pounds without the seat. Throw a pound on there, so it's at 96.6. A little heavier than 38 kilograms. That's for the manual, so a little bit of deviation there. We've done no modifications other than add the GoPro to the front, and there's no way that thing weighs 10 pounds, so it's...
And that was without the seat.
That was without the seat, so, I mean, arguably the seat, this thing may be a couple of pounds.
Gotcha. Okay. Why don't you extend that thing up?
Huh?
All the way up. Kickstand it up. Let's maybe we can show some other features like the key and electronics on this thing.
Sure. So, key on off. Got a battery, call it a battery meter here, which tells you full. Yellow is about half, and red starts at 20%. So 20% battery life, red will kick on. Yellow's about 50, and green, of course, is full charge. Here, there is a tiny little LED light on the front. It's actually pretty bright for what it is, and maybe we can test it with a light meter and just see what kind of lumens it produces. But for what we're using it for, we don't really need the light.
Let's see that suspension.
Well, I've already had my pony ride here today, so I'm not going to get on it and bounce, but you know, without putting a significant amount of pressure, it's got some fairly decent rear suspension. Front suspension, I would say, is minor or minimal compared to the rear, which is good. Last night I took this thing through a rip, through a cultivated field, and it wasn't entirely uncomfortable to be riding on it, but it was certainly noticeable. I mean, it's not a motocross motorcycle, so the suspension on it is better than nothing, and it's fairly comfortable.
All right, Daryl, yesterday we went for a little cruise with the Cobra and just to test it out, and you had all your hunting gear on. Are you wearing the exact same things as yesterday?
So I'm wearing everything that I had on last night. My gear, backpack, rattling antlers, bow, everything that I had in my pack and on me last night I've got on right now. I estimated last night to be about 15 pounds worth of gear, and I was sorely wrong. In fact, it's I'm sure it's double that. So when I hop on the scale right now, 275.6, and pre-weight was 234 clothed. So that's 31 pounds worth of gear.
So essentially the Cobra here took yourself at 275 pounds through a plowed field to your tree stand.
Yep, it did.
That's kind of impressive.
It is, and like I said, I felt a little bit underpowered, but to be honest, for what it was doing to get me from A to B, it was. I think it was really good.
And we did review the footage. You were going cross a plowed field length, or so I guess you're crossing
perpendicular.
That's what I was looking for. I was getting there. So, and tell me about the ride home though.
So the ride home, ironically, it was a lot easier. And what I did is I found a tractor path really to take back rather than going cross field or over the cultivated area. So it made a big difference. So I think if you were able to find a good path and stay on a path, I think you'd have no issues with this thing. The power.
So we're about to talk about what do we got, like how it collapses, right?
Well, I think the most important thing is storage, transportation, mobility, ease of disassembly. Those are all good things. But before we do that, we should probably close my door on the garage.
I'll pull a pin on this thing. Daryl's afraid he's going to lose 5 cents of heat. Let's see here. So,
Yes, I love heating the outdoors. Anywho, pull it in. Pull this.
kickstand.
No, we're gonna leave that out just cause.
It's gonna poke a hole in my cloth seats.
So, I can manhandle this thing myself. But you do a whole lot less damage to your buddy's truck when you get help.
You put a big scratch in my truck.
You know, insurance companies. You know how I feel about them. Wow. That is pretty cool.
Lots of room still in there.
Yeah, for
Ratchet straps for whatever. So fits nice and compact in the back of a truck. And I have like just a Sierra with what is this called, a crew cab?
Yep.
Crew cab. So lots of room there.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Fantastic. You could probably get that into the trunk of a car.
I'm sure, I mean, it's designed for whoever wants to go down any other path, but I mean, for our application, taking it out hunting, get to point A to point B, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, anybody can throw this in the back of a truck, but to have the ability to